DTF versus DTG. Which one's best for you and what's the difference? DTF stands for direct to film. This is when a printer prints on a sheet, then you get that, stick it on top of your garment, heat press it, remove it, and boom, the design has been transferred onto your garment. Now DTG, this stands for direct to garment, and as that entails, the printer prints directly onto the garment itself. Now, when should you use DTF and when should you use DTG? DTG is best if you have any opacity or fading in your design, because this printing method is able to capture that kind of detail. It's also good if you want the design to feel like it's part of the garment. So if you run your hand over the garment and on top of the print, there's little to no feeling of the print being there itself. That being said, when should you use DTF? DTF is used for pretty much every other application. If your designs are pretty simple, for example, if it's a text or if it's a solid design, then you definitely want to use DTF compared to DTG. Now, that leads us on to the pros and cons. So, the pros of DTG is that there's little to no hand feel, and you're able to capture opacity and fading, which is especially important if you have those kind of details in your design, which is pretty common in things like graphic tees. Now, the cons of DTG are as follows. One, it's going to be more expensive than DTF just because there's more labor and there's more steps involved. Another is that you need your garment to be 100% cotton because DTG only works on natural fibers. And finally, DTG will naturally just fade over time. So after a couple wash cycles, it's going to look a bit more faded compared to when it was fresh. Now, what are the pros and cons of DTF? So DTF is going to be cheaper just because there's less steps involved. It's going to be more durable compared to DTG, as in there's not going to be fading if you have a good printer for DTF like we do. And it works on all materials and compositions. So it doesn't matter if you have 100% polyester, if you have 50% polyester, 50% cotton, DTF works on all of them. DTF is also going to be quicker than DTG, again, because there's less steps involved. And finally, what are the cons of DTF? DTF can't capture opacity. So again, if you have this in your design, you definitely want to use DTG. DTF can leave a plasticky feel on your garments. Now, this is especially important if you're using lightweight garments, something like 180 GSM, and you've got a big design that you're printing using DTF. You're going to really be able to feel that plasticky kind of effect of DTF. It's not that much of an issue on heavyweight garments like our 300 GSM t-shirts, for example, or 500 GSM hoodies, but it's definitely something to consider if you're using lighter weight garments. Another con is the prints can peel if you have a poor quality DTF transfer. If you're using very cheap DTF transfers, this is going to happen. However, if you decide to go with us, we have extremely high-end and reliable DTF printers, and this is not an issue that we suffer from. So hopefully by now you should know what the difference is and you should know what the positives and negatives are of both printing methods. If you're looking to have your designs manufactured and turned into reality, drop us a message and I'm sure we can figure something out.